So let's talk about the human ranger. Because you were... Okay, I'm going to say it right here. This is not because I'm friends with Felipe. It's not because I'm friends with Ranger, okay? I am proud to say that I am friends with Ranger, and I'll say that publicly in any sphere, always, right? I'm able to say this. But even before then, I can confirm some of the things he said. Because, for example, when I first came to Brazil, I think Ranger was one of my doubters. Tockers from the get-go, I remember in MD3, was it MD3 with Shayapi?
Yeah.
You were always saying, this guy's going to be brilliant, right? This guy's going to be brilliant. And, you know, to be honest, I kind of was. But, but Ranger, I mean, like, your skepticism was 100% justified. I'm a bit of an idiot on social media. But it wasn't easy for you to reach out to. I was actually the one that kind of, I think, reached out. I was like, do you want to grab dinner sometime? And it was only after, I think, like the second time that we started to kind of be a little bit more friends, you know? So I do think you're a little bit like more introverted. But let's talk about the person Ranger, because, and once again, this is not because I'm Ranger's friend, but when I saw Ranger play, and Ranger also came to Europe with Furia, and you scrimmed against Team Heretics.
Yeah.
I have those VODs. I showed the VODs to my players.
Oh, really?
You played okay.
Yeah,
Okay?
I'm very good.
And what I want to say is, like, if for me, Ranger is more of an athlete and a competitor, and you're more of like someone that's there to strive to be the best day to day. I don't know how that's like going on with you being a content creator now. I'm sure you miss it a little bit, but you have the level to play at top of CBLOL still. I still believe that. I still believe that. And there was a world where maybe we had worked together. Some world, I think for sure, in this split. Since playing, how has it been like to transition into like content creation full time? You know, do you miss playing at all? Is it because you said you were struggling dealing with people? Did you not always have to deal with people, or was it that you were so focused on training that you didn't have to kind of, you know, talk to them as much?
Yeah, you're talking about the community?
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say so, because that's a big part of like your stressor right now, right?
Yeah. Well, basically my life, like my whole life, is based on the premise that I have nothing to go back to, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have a plan B in life, and I really don't have anything to go back to. So when I'm doing something, I really need to do everything I can to make that thing go well.
Yeah.
So that's how I think my success in League came from. And the moment I realized like this is something I can do, you know, to earn my life, and it's also a dream to play. So I just put all my focus on that, and kind of worked. And then the reason why I stopped playing professionally is because I was really burnt out. I played in the last 3 years. I think I changed my roster maybe like 5 times, you know, something like this. So every split, I have to give my absolute best to make that team work. And I'm the type of player that if someone is not doing their job, I'll try to do their job for them. So I felt like every split, I was just like giving my 150%, and I didn't feel the same from my teammates. So I had basically one lineup, one roster that I would play. I would still be playing in this year if I got that team, and I almost played.
That was a Titan Dinkieta.
Yeah. And so we almost played together in Kabum. Yeah. And then because it didn't work, I said like, okay, I don't wanna, you know, this is the perfect example why I stopped playing, because there's a world where I could be in Kid, for example.
I think so. Yeah.
So I felt like, for example, the Kid roster or Los Gandras roster or any other team I could go, we will not win CBLOL.
Yeah.
So if I'm a veteran player, right?
Yeah.
So if I don't win, it doesn't make sense for me to compete, and I felt like I was taking the spot of a young
potential player.
Like a talent, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, this is the best example, and at least when I think about my decision, that gives me peace, you know.
But just kind of going back to the question, do you ever feel, And this is for you too later on, Tockers, because you went through a similar phase to Ranger, I think, right? From when we spoke back in the day when you were a player, like really burnt out, trying to like do your best to win for many, many years. And your health also declined because of that. Yeah. So when you decided to take a break, do you ever have the fear of, oh, fuck, like maybe there's a chance that I can never go back to play again?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm very cocky. No, really.
You just think I'm just the best out.
I think I'm still the best. Really. Okay. When I see, like for example, Carioca and Dizam is playing, I think I'm the same level or maybe better.
Yeah.
Definitely better than Croc.
Well,
okay.
That's not a challenge.
No, you can't say this. Okay.
I can.
You guys can say, I can't say this. Croc is my boy.
Yeah.
Croc's my boy. No, okay, so going on about that, because you said you were such like an all-in player, and I know a little bit about this, but I think this is a good place to kind of speak to the audience, even though like 80% probably don't understand what we're saying right now.
Yeah.
We will subtitle it though. So
they just want to watch us.
Yeah.
Vamos ter legendas.
Yeah. So before when you were playing, you said you're like so fucking all in on the game. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that you were doing, because I was never around, right, when you were doing this. Does that mean you were just not doing as much content, for example, having to deal with the community? Because you're so all in on, were you always a bit of a streamer? Were you always a bit of a personality?
Yeah, no. My personality kind of, I feel like my personality at the beginning was not being taken seriously. I'm a very transparent person. I'm very straightforward. So I kind of got famous for trash talking the enemy team, you know, and saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna destroy these guys," you know. And
before the game.
Yeah, before the game, every game, almost, especially against good teams, you know. So if I win, I'm, you know, I'm God. But if I lose, it felt like nothing wrong, you know, nothing bad was coming from that. So I just kept doing, yeah.
I felt like you put so much pressure on yourself with those comments and...
Oh, you competed against him, didn't you?
Yeah, and waiting for those backslash that sometimes you had to cross your mind in like a tough game. Oh, fuck, I kind of trash talk these guys, now I'm losing. Was like a time that happened, or like literally you never look back, like after posting or trash talking, you never kind of went through your mind or even affected your gameplay?
No, the only time my gameplay was affected for something outside the game was when I was in Flamengo and the fans were me infernizando, mano. Like, como que eu falo isso?
Tradutor.
Como que eu falo isso? Pestering me?
Pestering you.
Yeah.
Pestering.
Bothering him.
Okay, bothering.
Yeah,
making my
bothering
life
me
hell.
a lot. Yeah, making my life hell.
Mango porra.
And they used to say like, "Oh, put the academy guy, you know, on this guy's place." Then I went really mad. Like, oh my god, I'm like 20 times better. Please shut the fuck up, you know. So I always have problem with these kinds of comments.
Yeah.
And then it tilted me for a week.
I mean, the reason that I asked that is, as I said before, like, you were such a dedicated player when you were competing. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had to have been, right? Because he was champion. And so naturally you train more, you scrim, etc., right? Now you deal with the community full-time as a job.
Yeah.
You know? Are you feeling like mentally, like, do you feel the difference? Is it more stressful being a player or a content creator for you, for example?
For me, it's more stressful being a content creator. It's just because I have to try to find balance, you know, between what I really want to do and what sells.
Yeah.
So I can't really be tipo individualista assim, tipo egoísta, selfish.
Fala
Yeah.
português.
I can't be selfish with my decisions because I have to think a lot on my team too, ideal. So because, you know, my actions also can affect them. So I have to ponder a lot and I have to deal with the fans, which is not my specialty, you know. So
by the way, if you guys can't like speak well in English sometimes with words, just speak it in Portuguese because I can understand a lot, and also I think it's better for the audience anyway, you know. So
I mean, I kind of resonate with everything he said so far. I mean, when he was playing and as a content creator, because before CBLOL, like the team support was mainly for the players. So the team who had the most support was the team BRTT was on. The only thing that had more back then more loyal fans was Pain, right? And then after some years, INTZ got some loyal fans, and then other teams started building those fan base. But before it was a thing, so you didn't have to deal with this this fan base stuff, you know. I mean, if you said bad things about the player they like, then yeah, it was the same. But right now, it became a bit like football, I would say, you know.
Yeah, I would say so.
People are really passionate about their team. It's not about the player anymore. If, I don't know, some player leaves the team, the supports are not going away. And at the same time that you have to say the truth, you have to balance with not being too mean, you know? Yeah. So I had a lot of problems at the start with Pain Gaming, because I would look at their games and say, look, they're doing this again and again and again, and they're going to lose again. And people got mad at me because I would say that when Pain was winning, and then they lost, you know? But either you go with the momentum, you know, oh, the team is doing well, just good things. The team is doing poorly, you just trash them. And I don't like to do that. I like to do analysis that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, I have the same problem.
And then people get mad because, oh, my team is so good, don't you see? And okay, but they have problems. I understand about the game. I see those things. And then 1, 2, 3 weeks later, that happened. It happened with me with Pain. It happened with me with Crocky, which I said, oh, Crocky is still doing the same shit. He's going to fail internationally. He did. I said at the start of the split, Crocky is playing worse than ever. It's going to be hard, you know? So people get really passionate when you talk bad about their team that's doing good at the moment.
This is my biggest problem, because I'm not the kind
with
of guy...
Cartinas, right? With Cartinas does this.
Yeah, that's a small portion of that, because I'm not the kind of person that will lie to make someone be happy, you know?
Yeah.
And this is the thing I'm struggling the most, and I'm still learning. Like, the truth doesn't need to be cruel, right? You don't need to say everything 100% correct all the time, you know. Sometimes you can just leave things out and it's fine. But for example, the game you guys had against Pain, you know, the last one, the 40 minutes fiesta. Pain was a stomping early game, right? So they were playing kind of well, but to me it was absolutely clear that you guys were playing the mid game way better than them. You were faster on the map, your setups were better, the way you positioned to fight. To me, everything was better. No, I'm serious. And I said on stream, like, oh, to me, Kid is like just a way better team than Pain at this moment. And the reason why you guys lost is because I felt like your players were in a bad day, you know, like getting picked off a lot. I don't know why, but like Pro Delta was getting caught in wolves for no reason, like 1v5, or Dizam was getting the same.
Yoni wasn't the greatest, right?
Yeah, but to me it was very clear that Kid was the better team that day, and
yeah,
I say these things on stream, right? And I get
should have won. Smiley just opened his ulti in the next
no, even without, like, I don't care about these small things, right?
Yeah.
But
you could take 3 different decisions and win, but that one.
Yeah, but anyway, and when I say these kind of things, right? I said, oh, to me, Kid played better, and if they play like a best of 5 today, they're gonna win, you know. And I get a lot of hate because this kind of thing, you know. And when I speak something that I think I understand about the game, and the majority of the fans kind of hate on me, I think this affects me a little bit.
You know, to be honest, like, I think a lot of people, like, I mean, one, and I want to talk about this a little bit later as well, because I think you had a kind of rough upbringing. You had to succeed. I like to think that I'm a tough guy. Like, in terms of, like, mentally, I think I'm a tough person. I think I would consider both of you guys to be tough people mentally, right? But even no matter how tough you try to be, the truth is we are human beings, you know. We're human beings, and I think that even if you try to not pay attention, it does affect us a little bit, right? I mean, at least for me. Maybe not for you, but for me it does. Like, I do care about what people think about me. I do care about the fans. I do want to make sure that the people that are supporting me are happy. The people that are against me can come to my side and we can build something special. And I think that's the case for, I think, people in general. I think you know, it's a very important part of being a human being, like having other people, right? So when you're exposed to so many thousands of people every day, it does affect us. And I do want to say this kind of to the fans out there too. Just because we think your team is shit, okay, it doesn't mean that we hate your team or we hate them as people. It's not personal, you know? Like if people want us to like speak and for together like more clicks, then every day we'll just be, you know, sucking like pain and loud every day. And it's so easy to do that, you know? But if you want really good content, if you want analysis, if you want experts, and you don't want these experts to go away, you don't want to lose these guys, we really need to be a little bit more kind of... Yeah, could I have some too, please?
Yeah.
We really need to be a little bit more understanding of our jobs too, you know? Because for me personally, I get so much stress, for example, when I know I've won draft, and I press Twitter, and I look at the you know, for example, but like the stress I get is so small compared to like the things that these guys get, because these guys are full-time content creators and they have to criticize people, right? I don't have to criticize them. Like I don't have to go there and be like, this X team is shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you do, kind of. That's part of like the analysis, right?
I think that's the problem. I think I go a little bit too far, you know. I don't have to call some team like trash.
Some mid laner on a thing.
I don't have to say like, oh, if I play for Red Canids, I think their team will be better, you know.
I understand him, because I mean, if we go really analytical about CBLOL, we're gonna to trash it every single day, you know. If you think about LPL, LCK, even LEC, and that doesn't help as well, you know. If I just say, oh, look how bad we are, oh, we can't do lane assignments like Koreans, oh, we can't team fight like Genji, that's not gonna help as well. So at the same time, the balance needs to be done where you criticize their gameplay and how they can develop, and also make the show feel good, you know. For example, I think your game against Spain is the best example. It was a really entertaining game, right? It wasn't the greatest quality, especially mechanically. We had so many mistakes. We had, even Curry made mistakes mechanically, which you guys got Baron. And your players made a lot of mechanical mistakes, but I'm sure you went over it, right? But
I just went home.
Yeah. And at the same time, if you watch like high-level LPL games, they get Fiesta.
Yeah, they do.
Often.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh my god, this game is so fast, it's the worst game in the world. No, there are mistakes. Human beings make mistakes. Games are going to be like that.
Yeah.
But we can say, oh look, Pain mid-game wasn't the greatest. Kid needs to have stronger lane phase and stuff like that, you know? So at the same time, we need to hype up. The game was good, entertaining. We are getting better. And, okay, but there are... This thing, they might have won if they did, and Pain, even though they were dominating the game, doesn't mean it was perfect. They made mistakes, you know.
That's what's concerning to me, because when after that game, I think I tweeted. I said like, "Wow, like this game was so bad" or something like this, and I saw 80% of the community saying, "Oh, this game was amazing," you know, best game of the split, something like this.
I mean, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I understand it was fun to watch, but also I think that's my problem.
The review though,
I don't know how to deal, you know, with this kind of thing. Like, I don't know if I should appeal to fans and also clap and say, wow, what an amazing game, you know. That's really hard.
The balance I try to find right now.
Yeah, but I feel like that you should just be you know, and that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because part of the reason why I wanted to do like a talk show, and I talked to you a little bit about it before we started, was because I wanted to learn a little bit more about Brazil. But I wanted to do it in a way where I felt like I could invite people over, just over some dinner or chicken or whatever, and just talk about things. And I feel like it's an opportunity for me to learn a little bit more about you, but also the fans too. Because I think us content creators, all of us that are exposed to the public are often misunderstood. And so, you know, like the question that we need to ask the fans here is like, what do you want, you know? Do you want like legitimate, real Ranger, or do you want just another supporter of your team? There are a lot of supporters of Pain or Loud, right?
Yeah.
So I want to just kind of step away a little bit and ask a little bit. I want to know a little bit more about you, you know, because I did hear a little bit in our private conversations, but I think a lot of people don't really know that much about your story too.